Hello and welcome back to my small little library. Today I want to talk about a project that I probably should have talked about in my yearly goals video, but I kind of was a little bit hesitant to start this project because it's going to be a long time project and it is intimidating because I'm not somebody who's like a hoarder or anything like that, you know. I do keep my space, not minimalist, not by far, but I'm also not somebody who's more like maximalist, I would say. But I do tend to really hang on to my books, even though I maybe didn't even like them or I didn't read them because I DNF'd them, stuff like that. I have a lot of books that, are on a pile that are supposed to leave this house. And for some reason with books, it feels really, really hard for me to actually get rid of them. So yeah, this project is gonna be about curating the books that I own, which curating feels like such a fancy term for what I'm doing, but I do think it's kind of the correct term. I just wanna only have books at some point that I really enjoy, that really speak for me, for who I am, for what my reading taste is. And if somebody, would come into this room and would be like, oh, what book would you recommend? Or like, could you lend me a book? What would you recommend? That I could actually go and be like, okay, what topic do you want? What is kind of interesting for you? And every book on my shelf would be applicable as a recommendation. Like, I don't want to have books on my shelf where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't you recommend reading this? Like, why is it on my shelf then if I don't actually enjoy the book being here? And obviously I have the books that are in this room, and then I have books that are in the kind of a storage room that I have to my side here, which I am trying to transform into a kind of hobby room more. It's a really small room, but I want it to be really functional storage. And I kind of don't want to have books in there anymore. I want it to be mainly for like my other hobbies that need storage, that I want to be able to go in there and have everything accessible, and the books are taking up space that they shouldn't be taking up in there, to be totally honest, because most of the books in there are my childhood books, the ones that I actually took with me when I moved out, because they are not all of my childhood books. Some just, were lost to time. But yeah, I have a couple there. Probably, I don't know, around like 40-50 books. Somewhere around there. I haven't counted yet. Which, like, maybe I will count and show you on the screen how many books are on those shelves. And then I have my collection of university books, which like none of them are like mostly they aren't like official university books, but I have all of my non-fiction books about Egypt and archaeology on there, which those I don't want to get rid of because they feel like a really important part of me and I really enjoy them. But they are hidden at the moment, you can't see them, and I'm kind of unhappy with that fact because, it is a part of me. I did like study it. I never finished my bachelor. I was so sick by that point, without knowing what was happening, that I actually wrote my bachelor thesis, but whilst writing it, I knew that I would never pass it, but I did write it nonetheless, just so I could say I tried. And could close that chapter of my life. But yeah, I'm still like really big into the topic. It's really interesting, It's just not my job. But yeah, so these books I kind of want to have somewhere where I can actually see them, because I can't see them where they are. And then we have like my whole collection that is here on the wall behind me, all of the books I've already read, and then on the other wall I have my physical TBR, which I'm slowly getting down, and then I have a whole bookcase full of books that I don't necessarily love, but I still have them. And the curation part obviously comes in getting rid of the books that I don't enjoy, that don't speak for me. But I want to do it slowly. I think originally I wanted to do this like a year or two ago, and I think at that point in my journey I would have just gotten rid of all of the books that I thought I didn't necessarily love or enjoy. And then I would have had a lot of empty space on my shelves, and I would have gone out and bought way too many books. That is what I want to not do. I kind of want to make sure that I do not do that, because it's like a really dumb idea. So what I kind of want to do is start with the books that are in that room, and I'm gonna give you like a quick overview on screen, what is in there. Obviously they're all German versions, because as a child, I mean, we do learn English early, like we start in 3rd grade, but I did read mostly German books for quite a long time, because I'm not that great with languages. I think with my English you can't really tell that much, but yeah, I take a long time to learn anything language related, and so I read German books for a long time. And my plan is to start there and just pick like a book that I can read parallel to my actual TBR, and slowly make my way through the books again. I really want to read them all again, because I want to make sure that I'm not keeping something just because I'm nostalgic about it, and it isn't serving any purpose in my home, because the book could go to somebody who will really like it and not live here without any purpose. So I have to read them all. That is the plan, and that will obviously take a lot of time, but I feel like that is a way better like go at it than just think about what I think I liked about them and then just get rid of the ones that I don't remember liking. I feel like that's such a fallacy that it's easy to fall into. I have that thing with like clothes, for example. I do every couple of years I sort through my clothes and get rid of the ones that I don't wear anymore, and I have regretted a couple of things I've gotten rid of in, you know, because I thought I needed to get rid of more clothes, which we don't want to do that mistake with books. So the plan is to start there and then slowly transition into this room. And obviously I do reread books on a regular. That is something I really love. So the ones I do reread that are on these shelves, I can then decide after rereading them that will be just a normal part of my normal TBR, because I just enjoy a good reread. And every now and again I feel like it's not bad to see if you love a book still, because obviously if I recommend a book to you, I should know if I at the current moment still actually would recommend the book, you know. It's not really helpful if I read it 5 years ago and I think I loved it, and then, you know, I would read it now and then I maybe wouldn't like it. So that is also a reason I really like rereading, so it keeps me current with the books I want to recommend. So yeah, that is the other part. And then the part that is the hardest for me is the shelf with the books that I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't necessarily love either. I have, for example, all of the Clive Cussler books, which those are a massive amount of books, and I don't necessarily want them long time on my shelves, but I'm also feel like I'm not ready to give them up yet, because that would free like a complete like one of these is completely like not the full bookshelf, just the shelf itself is full of Clive Cussler. And I feel like if I get rid of that many books at once, just at this moment, I would be way too tempted to buy new books, which is what I don't want to do. So I feel like I should go about it and just every couple of months get rid of like one author or like one group of books that I feel like I can get rid of, that I won't regret, that I have read recently, and slowly free up space in that shelf. And then obviously I'm always going to buy new books, so there will be books that fill up that space, but like not go ahead and search through the shelves and get rid of everything I can see, because I feel like I would be way too tempted to buy new books because of the free shelf space, which is what I don't want to do. I have my TBR, I want to get through my TBR, and obviously once I read the books, I like put them away in the shelves, and once I run out of space on these shelves, I will start getting rid of books that I have read recently and know I don't love. That is something I will absolutely do, but I'm not at that point yet. They look full, but pretty much all of them are empty in the bottom. Like they are only full at the top. I do own a lot of books, but I don't own like a massive amount that you see with a lot of booktubers. Like I have 5 of these bookshelves, and then I have 2 of the half ones. And pretty much none of them are completely full. They all have the bottom shelves empty, and then I have one of the small ones and one of the big ones that have like 2 shelves completely empty of books. So I do have quite a bit of space still. that I kind of want to fill first before I start culling the books and getting rid of them, just because I really love the look of full bookshelves, and I kind of want to have a collection that like fits on the shelves, not that much more at the current point. You know, I am tempted to start like book stacks because I love how they look. Like if you ever watch a home improvement show or like these like MTV Crib videos or something like that, and you see like people have like these little stacks of books everywhere, I really love that. But I don't know, I feel like I would lose every overview of books that I own if they would be stacked at random places. So yeah, I'm trying to refrain from doing that. But yeah, that is kind of the plan that I have. And what I will do, like the one thing I will actually buy for this project is not a planner, a journal. Like a bullet journal, like one of the ones that just has the point grid and is completely empty on the inside. Because what I want to do is track every book I own, if I liked it or not, and if I own it still or not. Because one thing I really, really regret from childhood is I don't remember a lot of the books that I loved as a child that I would really, really love to reread. And I have a terrible memory when it comes to my childhood. Don't know why, but I have lost a lot of the memories. And I'm really, really, really sad about that, because there are so many that I have like snippets in my head, and I would love to read them again just because I have so many like happy memories around the book. I just do not remember the name or enough of like the story to find them. And so I really want to track the books that I own, that go out of the house, and just have a little list of all of the books that I've read in physical form, because I do love a good like write, and I enjoy writing by hand, so that is the reason I want to get a journal for that. And then I can obviously keep track when I read the book last and if it is still on my shelves or not, because sometimes I remember books and I'm like, oh, I've gotten rid of that, and then I find them on the shelves, and that is not good. That is something that shouldn't happen. I think it's definitely a message that I have too many books and have not enough of an overview of the books that I own. So yeah, that is kind of the only thing I want to actually get for the project. So I will order that, and then I can keep track of the books. They don't have to be in any order. I don't care for all of that. I just want to have them like just a little line, a little note of that I've read it, when I've read it last, and how I enjoyed it, like a rating, and then if the book is on the shelves or not. So I can go back if I ever get rid of a book and can mark it. And if I'm tempted to buy a really pretty edition of a book, I can look up if I've ever read the book. And maybe refrain from buying books that I have read, because that has happened as well. That I've picked a book up that I've already read, I didn't remember, and yeah, I had gotten rid of the old edition, and yeah, now I own the book again, even though I didn't even love the book, and I just did not remember, because you know, remembering can be hard sometimes. But yeah, that is kind of all I wanted to talk about today, because yeah, I just thought I would share it, also kind of to hold myself accountable for my stuff, you know, because I don't want to be a mindless consumer of books. I would love to be a lot more mindful when it comes to my books, to the ones I show you, like, you know, if I want to make an example video of favorites and stuff like that. I want to have a collection that I can completely share with you and not have to stand in front of my bookshelves and be like, oh, I didn't enjoy that, I didn't enjoy that. You know, I feel like it's kind of annoying to be in front of the bookshelves and be like, oh, that is a book that I don't like. And I don't know, I would much rather only own stuff that I really love and enjoy. So yeah, that is kind of the idea of this whole project. Obviously, it's gonna take forever, but I am prepared for that. I think that is fine. I don't need to rush anything. But I think it's gonna make me really, really happy to just start tackling this project, because I have pushed it off for like 2 years now, and it is time, let's be honest. So yeah, maybe share your thoughts on the whole project down below, or maybe how you handle such things, because obviously everybody's different, and I see massive collections left and right, or like people who actually get rid of all of the books once they read them. So yeah, please leave down below how you look onto things like that. I would really love to know. Maybe leave a like if you like this video, or subscribe to see more of me if you did enjoy that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!